Hey y'all, welcome to the Talk to the Masses podcast. It's August 2nd, 2026. We're here in Atlanta, Georgia, and it's a nice 77 degrees outside. I hope you enjoy. Hey y'all, how you doing? My name's James Dunleavy, and we're here with
Larry Summerlin.
welcome to the Talk to the Masses podcast. We're here to talk to more people, experience new things, and donate back to St. Jude. How you doing today?
I'm doing great, man. I'm doing great.
Where'd you grow up?
Let's see. I grew up in South Georgia, in a place called Claxton, Georgia. It's the fruitcake capital of the world. Because I think we're the only town dumb enough to have two fruitcake companies in the same town. And you're from Carolina, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you've probably seen Claxton fruitcake, the little rectangle in like your produce section or end cap, especially around Christmas.
Yeah.
So that's where I'm from, just small town Georgia, man.
Nice.
Tiny little town.
What was your neighborhood life like? Did you have like kids play with?
I grew up, when we started off in town, I could walk to my grandma's house. And when I say in town, like, we didn't have neighborhoods. Like, you know how you pull into a neighborhood now? It's like Grand Oaks or something like that.
Yeah.
We didn't have that kind of stuff back then. So it was a very old school, no sidewalks, just like they would just build a house and name a road. And then when I was in sixth grade, my mom got remarried and we moved out to the country.
Uh-huh.
And so we probably lived 2 miles out of town, and we would just go walk in the woods and see how far we could go. And, you know, we'd get chased by boars, and we'd see deer, and I could look out for snakes. And you just, I don't know, I kind of grew up, like, in the country. Like, in the country.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you enjoy that?
I enjoy parts of it. I enjoyed, obviously, the peace and tranquility, like, you need to go clear your head, go for a walk, especially when you're an angsty teenager,
Yeah.
It's really helpful. And, you know, playing music, I mean, nobody ever complained about my music because nobody lived near me.
Yeah.
So I could play as loud as I want. So.
Yeah. Did you have like a lot of friends in your room or in your I wouldn't say neighborhood because you said you didn't have any.
Well, interesting thing. I don't know if a lot of people have this experience anymore, but it's a small town, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I think there was 80 people in my graduating class. I think there was 93 people total, and only 80 of us actually walked, which is crazy. Out of those 80, probably 60 to 65 of us went to school together from kindergarten to 12th grade. Like, we literally known each other since we were all 5, 6 years old.
Oh my goodness.
And so I did have like a best friend. He played guitar, and we were like a band or whatever. And but we were all just kind of friends or friendly to it. We just like we just had that kind of close connection, especially being a small town. You know, we used to tell each other's phone numbers. We just give 4 numbers. Like, what's your phone number? 4611. Like, all right, and everything else is exactly the same, so you don't have to memorize all the prefixes and stuff. Anyway.
That's funny. How long did you live there after high school?
After high school, I stayed at home for 1 year, my freshman year in college. I stayed at home, and then I moved 25 minutes away to Georgia Southern. Yeah. That's where I went to school.
Nice.
Georgia Southern.
What'd you major in?
Music education.
Music education?
Yeah, I took education because my mom was like, you got to get a job, so you do education. I just wanted to play music, man. That's all I really wanted to do is just play music.
Yeah. Were you good in college?
Was good at music?
Well, just like a good student.
No. I was a mediocre student because I didn't care about the classes. I didn't care about doing well in school. Mm-hmm. Like, I wasn't a sense of pride for me. Mm-hmm. I was like, all right, I'm just going to pass these classes and get a degree. They give it to you either way, whether you get an A or a C or whatever. Yeah. You know? So I think I actually graduated with a 2.9 3.8 GPA.
That's impressive.
That close to 3.0. If I had gotten a grade, they didn't give grades for student teaching. Some schools do, some don't. If I had gotten a grade for student teaching, I would have graduated with a 3.0 on the dot. But I didn't, so whatever.
Yeah. Did you play in a bunch of bands in college?
I really only played in one band. As far as rock bands are concerned. And when I was in 11th grade, there was a local band in town that was kind of already established. And they asked me to be in their band halfway through 11th grade, so like January 1992. I played with those guys the rest of high school, all the way through college, and even after college until I moved to Atlanta in 2002. So I was basically in the same band for 10 years.
Did it break up at some point?
I was kind of broke them up. I was like, hey, guys, look, I'm moving to Atlanta real soon. As I had when I graduated, I was going to do one of three things. I was either going to stay at Georgia Southern, okay, and get my grad. I applied to an audition at North Texas, and I was like, I want to go to North Texas, you know, and get my graduate there, but that was going to be very expensive. And then I had a job offer up here at Milton High School. And so I chose to move to Atlanta and start teaching at Milton High School.
Yeah. You're the band director at Milton High School?
I was the percussion director, so what would you call it now? The battery coordinator?
Yeah.
I guess that's what they would call it. Battery arranger, battery coordinator. We didn't have job titles like that back then. It's like, you teach drums. I'm teaching drums. And now they have all these titles and stuff.
So you moved to Atlanta.
Yep.
You get the job at Milton.
Yes.
Tell me about your first year teaching students.
Man, my first year at Milton, I kind of had it made. So my roommate from college, Alan Sears, who's also, the director of Quest, and, we started Quest. And he taught every single one of my kids privately.
Oh my goodness.
Yes. So like everyone on the drum line had been taking private lessons from Alan for like a year when I got there. Yeah. And so it was just like stream of conscious, like we just, me and Alan are on the level. And so when it came to teaching the kids, it was like, all right, well, you know what to do. And so it's just a matter of coordinating it. And it went really well, man. We did good. We weren't like world class or anything. Like the kids were still, the program was still kind of building itself back up around that time. But yeah, it was, I would say it was a successful season.
And this was all back in the 90s?
2002.
Okay.
And then so I was there at Milton for 2 years in 2002 and 2003. So, yeah.
Do you want to explain what indoor marching band is?
Yes. So if you...
It's kind of hard to explain.
Right, well...
you just have to know.
If you've seen... I hate this reference, man, but if you've seen the movie Drumline, okay, it's sort of like that. Except there's only one drum line. You don't stand face to face. Like you play a show. Now take that movie and combine it with like nowadays it's almost like Cirque du Soleil. Like there's these. Everybody has these talents and uniforms and themes, and you want to expose all those things through that particular theme. So if you're really good at snare drum, and you guys are good at snare drum, but you're portraying a theme with a costume and a floor and music. I don't know, man. That's a pretty good explanation. It's not the best.
Yeah, I tell people generally that it's almost like a theater show.
Yeah, that's probably closer to
8 minutes.
8-minute theater show.
But I think it's weird where it's gotten today, where you have to wear a snare drum or wear a quad drum or wear a bass drum. But also you have to dance and do like ballet and all of this like silly stuff while you're playing the hardest thing you've ever seen in your life. Right.
That's why I equate it more to Cirque, because like there's props and like, we had a guy work with us early on that had worked at Cirque du Soleil, and he's like, you want something to happen in the show by every 15 seconds. That's engaging and interesting. And so that's why I'm like, theater is close, but theater is very long developing. Kind of, like, here's a scene. It's going to take a few minutes. Well, like, our shows are only a few minutes long. You got like 15 seconds to say, do what you got to do and then move on to the next thing. So
yeah, like, how are you going to tell a whole story or experiment a whole concept
in
8 minutes?
8 minutes, yeah.
And you're wearing drums.
And you're wearing drums. You can't talk, I guess.
Yeah. So you said you and Alan Sears made Quest.
Right. So
Atlanta Quest is indoor group.
Right. It's how you and I met through Atlanta Quest. So this was kind of one of the draws for me moving to Atlanta as opposed to getting my grad work. It's like, hey man, I think we're going to start a drum corps. And we never talk about this at Meet Quest, but we really wanted to start a drum corps because at the time, Spirit of Atlanta was out of Alabama. They were in Jacksonville, Alabama.
Oh.
And at the time, that was the year that, if you can believe this, the Carolina Crown had not made finals.
Yeah.
And they were like 17th place or something. And so, like, there was this gap.
Believe it or not, Carolina Crown started an open class.
Oh, I know.
Like, I think it was 1993 they won open class.
Yeah, my roommate from college, March 1993. But,
that's amazing.
Yeah, isn't that great? Yeah, for my roommate in college, March 92, 93, 95, Crown.
Wow.
And, so we were like, we're going to start a drum corps because we felt like there was this gap in Georgia and just the southeast of, like, of course, our young hubris, we thought we could do it better than anybody else, of course.
Yeah.
And we took one quick look at the financials and went, nope, we're not doing that. And, that is insanely expensive.
Yeah.
Even 20-something years ago, it's like $1 million baseline to run a drum corps. And so we had gotten a job at Milton. The reason why we were hooked up with Milton was the assistant band director had also been Alan Sears' roommate at one point. And so essentially, we're like, hey, what about this indoor thing? And like RCC had just had their first year and they came out and they won world class, obviously.
First year?
First year, and they came out world class and they just straight up won. And so again, that gave us a false sense of hubris, like we could just show up and win WGI.
Yeah.
And but I think a lot of people had that idea because that's at the same time that Rhythm X came out in 2002. Like, a lot of groups really started around that time. So we basically just borrowed all the equipment from Milton High School. And then we're like, we're going to do this indoor drumline thing. We're going to call it Atlanta Quest. It was me and Alan and Ben and the assistant director at Milton. And we're like, all right, let's write a show and get some kids out here. And we got kids from Milton and Georgia Southern, obviously. Alan had been teaching had just started at Sprayberry, and he'd been teaching at North Cobb. And we had complete randos show up. Like, we sing out flyers. Like, I remember personally addressing flyers to every high school in the area. Just like, I had this roster of high schools, and like, we printed up these flyers and just like licking the stamps, licking the envelopes, and like mailing them out. Like, we have auditions for this thing.
I hope you put up your flyer.
Yeah, please put this flyer up on your bulletin board. It must have worked because we had a couple of cats show up that were kind of older, and even I think there was even a couple of kids in the pit that had marched Spirit of Atlanta. And so, we started Atlanta Quest.
Yeah.
Out of thin air, sort of.
That's the most like kind of ragtag way of starting an indoor.
Yeah.
If you tried to do that now, I don't think that would work.
Not now. It would not work at all. And, I think we come across people like, man, I'm thinking about starting an indoor drum line, like, all right, buddy, pump the brakes. You need this, you need that, you need this. And, back then it was just like, we asked our buddy, hey, can we use Milton High School? Like, yeah, man, I'll unlock it for you. And then we would be there. Now you have to, almost every facility, you have to pay there has to be a counting person there at all times.
Yeah.
And so it's not easy. Not to mention back then, I mean, you know, we had a battery, like snares, tenors, basses, right? Mm-hmm. We got some cymbals. I think we borrowed those from Georgia Southern. We had pit equipment that we got from Milton. And that's about all you need. We got a couple of speakers. We had like one speaker for the spoken word part. That was it. But now everything is mic'd. And, you know, you see the speaker stacks that they have out there. It's like an Iron Maiden concert. Every time they roll out there.
I think it was RCC this past year.
Yeah.
I don't know if it was the whole snare line or just some of them, but they had in-ear monitors.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And I thought that was wild and kind of not cheap, but
it's cheap, but it's like
suspicious.
It's suspicious, but there's still a responsibility to the people around you, and the Met. Like it's almost in some sense you could say it's more difficult because now you have two responsibilities. You have the responsibility to the Met and the responsibility to play with your neighbor. I can see where like it could be harder. I've seen groups with in-ears that did not play well. Did not play well together because they just like go with the Met, and I'm like, oh wait, like you're still playing music in the real world.
Yeah.
And nobody can hear the Met.
What was your first show?
Our first show was called A Brief History of Time. It was based off of the Stephen Hawking novel. Okay. And it's basically a space show. And nice. And we had this narrator and a little 16-year-old girl narrating the show and just saying all this crazy stuff about space and time continuum. And then we play a lot of notes, really loud. A lot of notes. Atlanta Quest, we came out right out the gate, man. We were never, ever fooling around.
Do you have a video of this first show?
Yeah, there are videos of the first show.
On YouTube?
It is on YouTube. There's I think it was our last show in Georgia. It was at like Kennesaw Mountain High School. It's a pretty good rep, actually. And like a quad solo, people were going crazy.
Yeah.
And so, it was called A Brief History of Time, and everything was red and black because the Milton's drums were red, you know, and space is black. So that's why
how you got your colors.
That's how Quest got their colors. Because Milton's drums were red. That's why we're still red today.
Why do you call it Atlanta Quest?
We just kind of wanted to feel like it was going somewhere. Like this isn't the finishing line. Like we're starting something and we're going on a journey. And I feel like it has been that way.
Yeah.
Like, it's definitely been a journey. For sure. Like, from starting where, like, I was trying to think about the other day of, like, I think we had those DCI kids in the pit our first year. But it really wasn't. It took 3 years before we even had somebody that had marched drum corps. Because drum corps was the standard back then, not WGI.
Yeah.
WGI was just afterthought. We had one kid in the upper battery that had marched DCI. And I think it was that way until probably like 2012 or 13 before we had another kid go march drum corps and then come march Atlanta Quest. Now every single person on the upper battery is either marching DCI or they 4 or 5 years at Quest.
Yeah.
So it's definitely come a long way.
Yeah, I think the whole activity has.
Oh yeah.
So, what were some of the big changes that y'all had to adapt to in the early years at Quest?
Oh wow. A few things. I mean, the first thing that comes to mind is obviously like sound design and like trying to. I think one of the biggest challenges was everybody had these old Musser keyboards, these Keylon Musser keyboards that make no sound. And then you've got a drum battery that's designed for a stadium. Yeah. You know, like it's designed to, if there's 100,000 people in a football stadium, they can hear your snare drum. Well, now we're in a gym. We're in a tiny little gym with this Musser keyboard that's meant to be playing in a recital hall. So that was I remember poking holes in drum heads and putting moleskin and like just muffling the crap out of the drums. And like, then like we finally started figuring out how to mic the pick. And then we had to, I remember me and Alan just sitting in the basement, like trying to figure out how to take some music we wanted, listen to it, get it on paper, and then get that sound into a keyboard that could come out of the speakers and sound like it sounded the way we want it to sound. Like, there's so many processes in that. So just sound design is one of the first challenges. And then, we had those 3 seasons, and then we went, we had a season where we didn't compete because just kind of the floor fell through, and anyway.
Yeah.
And then when we came back, we almost had to start completely over with membership.
Oh my goodness.
And after about 4 or 5 years of that, we had always been kind of education focused, because I think one of the biggest challenges really is if you look at, if you go look at the groups in Atlanta that have been successful, they were successful by doing things a certain way. You know what I'm saying? And they're very good. I'm not trying to put anybody down, but they had a certain way of doing things. And we were on the other spectrum. Like, we're going to do it this way. And it was hard for the community to accept that, the judging community to accept that, and it was hard to get kids that had the skill sets that we were trying to do. So we had spent years and years building up kids. And after about 4 or 5 years of just open class, like making finals, not making finals, open class, we were like, screw this, man. We're just going to focus on the competitive aspect of it. And 2 years later, we were open class medalists, and then we were world class.
Yeah.
And so we just kind of shifted from an educational group to being a more competitive group and focusing more on being competitive.
Was that a decision, like a 1-point decision,
Yes.
or was that over time?
That was a 1-point decision. After 2011 was a particularly rough year for the group, and the range of talent in that group is just probably the widest it's ever been. And lots of great kids in that group. But after, we didn't make finals, open finals. And we were like, all right, look, there's a particular group, and we were like, if we can't beat this group in 3 years, I'm just going to call it quits. We're just going to call it quits. And because if we can't be better than that in 2 or 3 years, we're just going to pack it in. And 3 years later, we were world finalists. Yeah. So, and that group doesn't exist anymore. Oop. Well, maybe they do. I think they came back. But anyway, I'm not here to I don't like bad-mouthing anybody, because I know everybody is working really hard.
Yeah.
But it is a competitive atmosphere.
There's almost a mutual respect.
Yes.
Because everyone's there all weekend, every weekend.
Yes.
Paying dues, putting in the work.
Yep.
Writing a show.
Which, I don't know who's listening or watching, but like the staff people, we don't get paid for this.
No.
Like, we're all volunteer. Like, I volunteer every weekend of my life, essentially, for 15 years. The first 15 years of Quest. And I was just gone. Like, bye, wife. Bye, kids. See you later.
Yeah. There's no money in it.
No, there's no money in it. And it does lead to opportunities. I ended up, because I was associated and Quest was eventually successful, right? And eventually people started looking my way going, hey, is this guy for hire? And I did end up landing a really good job teaching in a high school and running my own program. And that went really well. It was awesome. I had a good time. that's why I used to tell my wife all the time, you're not getting paid for it. It's like, I promise you, this is going to lead to bigger opportunities. And eventually it did. And so if you're successful and you're good at it, it will bring you other opportunities.
What were the differences internally when you made that change from an educational group to a more performance-based group?
Well, some of it is intentional, and some of it was coincidental. But one of the biggest changes we made, and if anybody is doing any kind of organization that requires any kind of money, I'll never forget this. If you showed up to the first rehearsal and you didn't have your money, we sent you packing. And that was huge. That was huge. I remember having to call people. It was like, hey, this guy didn't have his money. You want to come march? Like, you just call the next person on the list. Oh, and that, you only had to do it with like 2 people. And the rest of the group was like, oh, this is for real.
Yeah.
Like, and that, just something so simple like that changed the attitude of the people that were there. Because there was nobody there not pulling their weight financially. So there was no resentment there. And, like you said, you spend all weekend with these people. And you bond with them emotionally. And, like, if somebody's not pulling their weight, and then the other thing that kind of happened was, Zach Marshall just showed up. And he was like, hey, he was going to help out with the snare drums, and then he wanted to change the drill set, and then he changed the entire opener, and then he just became our visual guy. And, and over the course of like a 4-hour block. And so that was kind of coincidental, but it has definitely helped shape our identity over the last 14 years. I feel like
that's how you do it. That's how you become a visual person. And just trial by fire.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
You show up. And you're like, hey, can I change this?
Yeah. And,
hey, can I change the set?
Yeah.
Hey, can I write a movement? Hey, can I write your show? Yeah. Hey, can you hire me? Like,
I mean, that's how you do it. I don't have the eye for that stuff. When I was teaching at my high school, I taught for 5 years at East Paulding High School out in Dallas, Georgia. And I wrote the drill. I wrote all the music, pit, battery. I wrote the drill, designed the whole show. But then the band director there, he owned his own drill writing company. And so I would have him come in like February and be like, hey man, can you fix this? And he would literally just go out there on the floor and be like, you go there, 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 you go there. Yeah. He's like, can I do this? I'm like, yeah, do that. Just do whatever. And he would come in and like just clean up my drill like within a matter of like an hour.
That's
and
crazy.
So, he was nuts, man. And but I mean, he was a professional though. That's one of the things he did for a living was write drill. And that's kind of how you become a visual director. You just say, I got this.
I got an idea.
I got an idea.
Got a ton of ideas. How did the writing of a show change over the time with technology? You didn't have to write your drill on napkins at the bar anymore.
No, I remember writing the drill on paper, and as far as, I don't know how they do it now, because I quit doing it so long ago. As I think even the last year that I wrote drill, which was for Q2 2017, was not the best, but I was still writing it on paper. I was still writing on a grid. We went from just writing on a square to writing on a grid to, I'm assuming that people are using Ultimate Drill Book now. I'm assuming, I don't know how they do it. From that standpoint, then another just huge moment I'll never forget is in 2013, we got James Pluth to help us out with the pit and our sound design. And so me and Alan had written the opener to the Phoenix show. The 2013 Quest, this is the year we got silver and open. And I remember we wrote it all out, and then we sent it to James. And James, added all this soundscape stuff and took the time to make sure that like the pit sounded like a pit and not like a MIDI keyboard. You know what I mean? And I just remember when he sent that file back, I was sitting there with Alan, and I'm like, we're going to win WGI. This sounds amazing. And just adding simple things like just pads, like, like underneath, and filling in those gaps, and creating something that sounds, well, like I talked about earlier, something that sounds like what you were hearing in the first place. And it took us till about 2013 to really create that sound.
Yeah. I think the development of technology in WGI has changed everything. Well, that and DCI, because especially with percussion,
right?
When you hit a note, there's your note.
Yeah, there it is. Yeah.
Like, you hit one note and it's like pop.
Yep.
And that's it.
Right.
So to fill the space with long notes or
right, and especially when we don't have wind instruments.
Soundscape.
Yeah, we don't have string instruments. We don't have wind instruments. I mean, a lot of people had maybe a bass guitar, but that's also just one note. Boom. You know, that's not filling up a chord. You know, and they specifically write it now where they figured out the frequencies in a marimba and the frequencies in a vibraphone. And so they don't overlap those frequencies in the soundscapes. They make sure that there's gaps in the sound spaces so you can still hear the marimbas and vibes and they're not overlapping through what's coming through the, the pads or whatever is happening.
A lot of audio engineering goes on.
Yes. Like it's gotten to that level now where
some of these sound carts are like huge. You have a bunch of dials and you got somebody on an iPad, you press the button and all of them change on their own. It's like, whoa.
I used to
Screens.
joke, especially when I was at the high school and in my indoor program, and I was like, man, I'm not a tenor player. Like, I'm going to play quads, dog.
Yeah.
But I have to know how to teach tenors and snare and bass drum and four mallet technique and all the auxiliary instruments, and I have to know how microphones work and how to work a soundboard and write drill, and I also have to be able to do sound design. Like the skill level you need to run a drumline program right now is out of control.
And then on top of that, that's just to build the show.
Yeah.
Somebody's got to have the job to get the space, get the instruments, get the kids to come back. How are you going to get them to the competition? How are you going to set up? How are you going to get all the instruments to the competition?
Yeah.
You're going to have shirts. You're going to have uniforms. You're going to have drum wraps.
Somebody's got to design that uniform. Somebody's got to finalize the design for the floor. Somebody's got to decide what shoes you're going to wear. And back in the day, I was like, y'all wear black shoes. Y'all can't get some bandos or just buy some black shoes. If they got white on them, just sharpie it out. And like, now it's like, that's one of the things I remember Zach was like, no, we're going to wear this brand of shoe. It's going to be this exact design, and it's going to look good with the uniform. And the kids are going to have to buy them, and that was just that kind of stuff, like more responsibility for putting more onus on the kids and expecting more out of the kids. Yeah. Instead of, oh, you're learning. Okay, we'll help you learn this weekend. Like, no. You learn that stuff during the week. You come here.
And we're here together.
Yeah, we're here to perform. And I think that still exists in the culture of Quest today. I mean, any successful marching group, like my kids are in high school, they're doing video assignments during the week, And so we've definitely been able, across the activity, to delineate from practice and rehearsal. And now when people get together, they're rehearsing, they're not just practicing together.
Yeah. And then when I started doing WGI, we had a rehearsal where it was just like, this is how you're going to practice. They taught you how to practice.
Yes.
So I feel like that gets really lost, especially in high school. Just like, here's the music, go learn it.
Yep.
You're like, all right, it's whatever.
Like, what do you practice? Well, the best programs are telling them exactly what to practice, or giving them the most guidance.
Yeah.
Really, those are the best programs.
And the best students are the ones that are given
Applying that, yeah.
Applying it the best, but also giving their instructors like, hey, what am I doing wrong? Hey, this doesn't sound right. Hey,
right.
This doesn't feel efficient. Hey, this,
Inquisitive.
Whatever. It's like this constant battle to like one up the staff by giving them more work.
Yeah.
Like, what's next?
No, I remember they used to say, I used to hear that phrase, like, people would go march. My friends would go march somewhere like cadets or cavaliers back when they were like top tier, first, second place every year. And they would be like, in the ensemble, like, okay, we're going to push the staff today. We're going to push the staff to try to find a mistake.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And that's when they, like you said, it starts elevating because you put the staff and then the staff pushes the members and like that's how you get to that upper tier.
Yeah. It's very interesting.
But yeah, I did that. I did just kind of put an overarching. I was with Atlanta Quest for 15 years. And day one, I think 2003 was our first show. I didn't miss a single show until I think 2016. It was the first time I ever missed a show. Like I was at every single thing Atlanta Quest did for how many years that was. In 2017, I ran the open group, and then I stepped away from the ensemble. And I come by and advise, and I've written a couple of licks here and there, but it's focused on my family, and that's really. And now my family is.
Was that what led to your decision to step away?
Yeah, man. I had 3 boys, and then when I had my daughter, she was born in May of 2013. So that was right after we got that silver medal. And then, obviously the next 2 years were world-class finalists. And I could feel myself, even in that 2015 season, like I could feel the pull of my family. Like starting, there was a little gap. Like, I was the only tenor tech at Quest. From day one, I was the only tenor tech. I mean, we had a couple of guys come through, and they would hang out for a couple weekends, but like, and then once Anye finally aged out, and after 2015, he started teaching the tenors in 16, and then I finally had room to breathe. Like, okay, I don't have to be here every single second.
Anye's a cool dude, by the way.
Anye's the best, man. I love Anye, man. And, but yeah, and even in 15, like, he was, marching and teching, essentially. Like, it was like, hey, Anye, we need to do this. And then he would tell everybody, kind of, all right, we're doing this. Like, it was kind of, it's always great when you have a member, too, that can kind of relate to the other members and just kind of simplify things.
It's probably funny, like, as a memory, you're just like, have you even done this before?
No, right. No, I remember Anya coming to Sprayberry when he was 13 years old. And and he already was just, he just understood his hands. He was just one of those people. So people were just like, oh, drumstick, go this, and then just do it. Yeah. But yeah, he was with us at Quest, and I marched senior corps with him for 2 years. And then, obviously he came back and helped us out a lot at Quest and really helped define that culture right as we were trying to change the culture. He helped out a lot because he had marched Blue Coats, and he brought that culture, some of that culture back, that DCI top 12 culture to Atlanta Quest. Yeah. So yeah, he definitely helped a lot in that arena, along with other people as well.
What's your favorite Quest show that you were a part of, and what's your favorite Quest show that you weren't a part of?
My favorite Quest show that I was a part of, I mean, this is the most stock answer, but it's probably Villain. And the reason why, not just because we were successful, but because that's about the most Quest show. I mean, after Phoenix, it's probably about the most, Villain is the most Quest book that has ever requested.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Just everything was just so in your face.
Yeah.
Like, we're going to give you more, and then here's some more, and then here's some more. And that was still my favorite show.
Yeah.
And one of my favorite groups of kids. Non-Quest, man, it's tough, man. These last 3 years have been, like, really good, man. Because I would have told you 2 years ago it was probably Drive, and then last year I would have probably said it was Eden, and because I really like those two shows.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna go. I'm just gonna go recency bias and say that last year's show was my favorite, and I think that with Christian breaking his arm, that added such an emotional element,
Yeah.
to the show. And by the end of the season, I was just, that's just request. Now Q2 is obviously Beyond the Veil is the best show.
Yeah.
And that might have been the best show from either group. Beyond the Veil is probably the best show that I wasn't involved with.
Yeah.
From either group. The show was incredible. So, and it helps that my kids ran it. And it helps that they medaled, but
Yeah. Yeah. I gotta say my favorite show that Quest has ever done is probably Mr. Sandman.
Oh yeah, that's a good one too.
It was so creepy, so like, like what's going on?
I dig that one too.
And then Q2, I mean, Run was the show I was a part of.
Right.
So that was fun.
Yep.
I didn't think we got as clean as we could have gotten that year.
Yeah.
I think it just didn't hit, it didn't peak soon enough.
Right. That's what I think too. I agree with that assessment. I think anytime you win a championship, I think it's really, or win or medal, like we did, it's really easy to come in there and expect that to just happen again. Especially when you haven't, when there's so many people, there's always going to be turnover, and there are people that weren't there.
Especially when you have a second group.
Yeah. And there were so many people there that weren't part of that process, and you see what it was really happening in January and February. Like, we weren't clean in January and February, but like there was a process of really investing in the show, like totally. That started showing up in March, and it was like, oh, I think we got something here. And then by the time we got to finals, it was really something special.
Yeah.
So, and I was around a lot in 24 because I had to drive my kids to rehearsal. They weren't able to drive there yet, so I was there a lot.
Yeah.
And so I got to see that whole process and how that broke down. But yeah. And so I think I got just a little bit of hangover in 25, a little bit like, what is it? Expecting to be successful just because you're part of Q2 kind of thing. There's a little bit of that in there, I think.
Yeah. I definitely think having a feeder group is interesting.
Yes.
I was explaining it to someone else, and some of the reasons why, like, Infinity 2, and Q2, and I think Matrix Open.
Yeah.
PAL.
Yeah.
Like, why those feeder groups do so well, I think, is because all of the people that are trying out for, I mean, you can correct me on this, but all the people that are trying out for Q2 are like, maybe make it.
Right.
They're struggling to make it.
Right.
All the people that are trying out for Atlanta Quest are either good enough to make Atlanta Quest, or they get cut and invited to March Q2.
Right. Yeah.
So you have a lot of these almost world-class kids from this world-class draw.
Right.
That are, told if you come March Q2, you might have an in.
Right, and that's really that is really beefed up over the last 3 or 4 seasons. It was like for many, many years, Q2 really was like kind of like the old Quest, where it was like a training ground. We're gonna fix this season. We're gonna fix that part of you, and then you'll be good enough to march AQ. And now it's almost the other way, where it's like AQ is pulling so much talent.
Yeah.
And I mean, let's see how that goes this year. We had a lot of age outs last year.
Yeah.
And it's also a destination place. Atlanta Quest has become a place where when you make it, most people just stay there until they age out. You know, and so you can't just like cycle through, you know? You're not cycling through as much, you know?
Yeah.
And now, what you're left with now is a bunch of people that are almost good enough to make AQ that are march at Q2. And so the people that need development, they aren't really getting a march. Or they have to go back to their high school or whatever, or find some other avenue.
Yeah.
And so, because of, like we talked about the logistics of running an indoor group, you can't really do a third group. It's not like in 2002 and say, we'll start another group. You know, like, let's get some drums.
Well,
I'll ask my buddy for a gym and whatever. It's not like that anymore.
I think I was looking at Infinity and I was like wondering how many like marimbas does Infinity have?
Exactly.
Like the organization. Because they're running 3 groups. They probably have 15.
Yeah, easily. They probably go
marimbas.
closer to 20.
Yeah.
And because you're always going to have extra equipment that is like, when you have that many groups and they have a sponsorship, I'm sure they have have at least one extra marimba somewhere, you know, and everybody's marching 5, 6 marimbas now.
Yeah.
So, like you say, at least 15, probably somewhere between like 18 and 20.
Yeah. And then, I don't know, Infinity 2 just made finals for the first time.
Yeah.
POW has been making finals for forever.
Since, I think their first or second year. Wasn't it their first or second year when they got bumped? And I remember watching a video about this, and a guy that was in that group that made finals, world finals, was just like, hey, there's no reason why we can't be as good as Pulse.
Yeah.
I was like, so let's just do everything the way they do it and work just as hard. And, I mean, that paid off.
Yeah.
And so, and I feel like that has happened at Q2 over the past few years, where it's like, wait a minute.
Why are we doing things differently?
Yeah, we don't have to do things different anymore because we almost have the same talent level now as Atlanta Quest. And so we've seen that definitely over the past 2 or 3 years, where it's like, we are not a second-rate group.
Yeah.
Like, we are one of the best open groups in the nation. Like, so let's act that way and write shows that way and perform that way and play that way. So, but that was a long process. I wasn't there for a lot of that.
Yeah.
But I know the people that were there for it, and it was a long, tough process. And I'm really, really, really happy we're at Q2 and, of course, Atlanta Quest, where they are now.
It was also very interesting when I marched there, the one year that I marched there, we had 5 guys from 4 different states.
Yeah.
The longest guy driving 9.5 hours. He's from Orlando.
Orlando, yeah.
Drove past Infinity, which was like 30 minutes away.
I know, right?
9 hours.
Well, I mean, I think that's a testament to what we've been able to build in Atlanta Quest. Like, it's a quality product that people are willing to drive 9 hours. I mean, we've had people come from California to march Quest. And over the years, it's become, like I said, a destination. And not just like, we would build people up and then they would go march Mystique. We'd build somebody up and then they would go march, somewhere else. And that was the case for years. Most of them just went to Mystique. And it was like, we were like a farm group for Mystique, for those early years, man. And that's why, one of the reasons we got away from the education thing was like, we're just farming people for other groups. Like, let's focus on our own success,
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, I want to move on from indoor a little bit.
That's fine,
but
man.
I could talk about it all day.
All day, all night. I mean, it's my life for 15.
What's your favorite snare break? What's your favorite quad break? What's your favorite bass break? What's your favorite visual moment?
Yeah.
What's your favorite gimmick? There's so much to talk about.
Top 10, anyway.
Yeah. But I want to go on more through your personal life.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
How'd you meet your wife?
I met my wife at, ironically enough, Alan Sears' birthday party. She worked with Alan's wife, and they were getting their masters together.
Okay.
And Alan was having a birthday party, and she was just broke up with her boyfriend. And so Alan's wife was like, "Come to this party, there'll be boys there." And we literally met, and that was on a Saturday. And I got her number at the softball game on Monday, and we went on our first date the next Friday. That was May 5th, 2006. And then we got married May 27th, 2007. So that was like, it's pretty fast.
Yeah.
Our
Just
first-
clicked.
It just clicked, man. And, I think we were both in like kind of long-term relationships before that. So we weren't about playing games. Either one of us were like, all right, we've been through all that nonsense. Like, this is how we want it. This is how I want it. And we were both just kind of up forward with each other, and it clicked.
Yeah.
We met in 2006, got married in 2007, had a baby in 2008, had a baby in 2009,
My goodness.
and babies in 11 and 13. So
4 kids is a lot.
4 kids in 5 years.
4 kids in 5 years.
Yep, it's awesome, and it's shaped my life in a positive way. To kind of connect both sides of this conversation, I tell people all the time, like I was in the marching activity for 30 years, and I had tons of success and tons of failures, and everything in between, right? And the most emotional I've ever been was when Isaac was a freshman. He was 15 years old, playing third cent for a 5th place open group.
Yeah.
And when they got done with that finals performance, I was a wreck because and as much as I love Quest, I love my children that much more. And to watch them be successful at anything, but, obviously be successful is something I was part of. That was the most emotional I've ever been at any show in my life. And he's just playing third cent. It's not like he was like the star of the show or they won first place or anything.
Probably playing whole notes.
Yeah, I mean, he got a couple of cool parts, but yeah, for the most part, yeah, he's just playing the pads. You know what I'm saying? And like making the stuff sound good.
Yeah.
But yeah, so the kids have like really, my wife and my kids, well, I'll tell you like this. This is my hierarchy in life. The way I figure things out is like what matters, how am I going to make this next decision in my life, is I have a hierarchy. And the top of that hierarchy is God, and then the next thing is my wife, and then there's my kids, and there's the rest of my family, and then music.
Yeah.
And so if I need to decide between something, what's more important here? Well, my wife or my kid, there's no decision. Like, I already know what's more important in my life. You know what I mean? And so that has helped really guide me for the last, 10, 15 years of my life. And it helps put things into focus to have like a hierarchy of priorities. When things get confusing, things get difficult,
Yeah.
you know what to turn to first, and so you can bury yourself in music and ignore your wife and kids. And that's not going to make your life better. It might make your musical life better,
Yeah.
but it won't make your family life better.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And one day the music gigs will dry up. I don't care who you are, unless you're one of the best drummer in the world. The music gigs are going to dry up one day. And you better have a wife and some family in your life or something like that, like a network of people that love you in your life to support you. So anyway, that's kind of how I stepped away from Quest. That's how I went to UPS. And I would really like the birth of my daughter. It's like the boys, they're boys, they can fend for themselves. But like when I had a little daughter, and something changed in me that was like, okay, I need to find a real job. And at one point, I was working part-time at UPS, teaching classes and after school at East Paulding. And on days that I wasn't at East Paulding, I was an Uber driver. So on weekends and like maybe at Wednesday. And even at one point, I was delivering groceries for Shipt. And so at one point, I had like 4 jobs. And I was like, I'm going to provide for my family.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that's more important. And so then as the UPS thing, I went from part-time to like a cover driver and started moving towards being full-time. That's when I stepped away from Atlanta Quest and just kind of became a full-time UPS driver.
Yeah. Tell me about being a UPS driver. Is it fun?
I like it. I think that, first of all, like any job, there's a bunch of BS you have to deal with. But, you know, it's like, why are we doing it this way? And I think a lot of people can get lost in that. But I like, there's something about just being out there in the truck, like kind of being on your own. And again, like being out in the country. I prefer delivering out in the country routes. Kind of reminds me of being back home and having that, going out there and just kind of clear your head, you know, kind of talk through life's problems. And, you know, I listen to a lot of books and podcasts and stuff while I'm working.
You should listen to my podcast.
I will. I do a lot of that while I'm at work and just to kind of keep my brain moving and keep it fresh. But overall, I enjoy the job. It's physical. I'm outside. I've got like a list of, I like having like a task, like a list of tasks to do. That's how I operate best.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, overall, man, I don't have to decide what I'm going to wear every day because I wear the exact same thing. So this is nice. You get up in the morning and you're half asleep. It's like, I know what I'm wearing to work today.
You just lay it all out.
Brown shirt.
You eat.
Brown shorts.
You wear the same thing. You eat the same breakfast.
Yeah.
You go to the same place. You drive
the same truck, hopefully, please. Yeah, that routine, that I like having, I was just telling my kids this, man, like, it's so healthy for your body and your brain to, like, get up at the same time every day. Know what you're going to eat for breakfast. I eat 2 pieces of sausage and 2 eggs for breakfast every morning. And
I think you told me you've been doing that since, like, college.
Well, I started doing that probably about 5 or 6 years ago. Like what I eat now. Before that, I always ate breakfast, though. I've been eating breakfast since I was in kindergarten. I don't know why. I don't know how people skip breakfast.
I skip breakfast all the time.
It drives me crazy. I can't do it. I can't do it, man. About like 9:30, I'll be like, you know, like, help. I'm going to pass out. And especially when I have a physical job, though. And I need, like, I want that protein and that fat from my body, and that's how I start the day. And then those things are really important, man, to like I said, when times of trouble come along, there's that stability of like, I know what I'm going to do tomorrow morning. I'm going to get up, I'm going to eat this breakfast, and then, you know, the rest of the day might be crazy, but I got this part under control, you know? So there's a peace of mind in that, you know? Yeah.
Nice. Do you have any future goals or future trajectories that you want to do in life? I know your kids are growing up.
Kids are growing up. You know, I think I got about 15 years left at UPS. At that point, I'll be like 65. So, which is a great time to retire. You know, people talk about retiring earlier, but what are you going to do? You know?
You're going to sit at home and think about not being retired.
I ran into a guy at Publix the other day. He's like, I drove trucks for 40 years. And I went home. I watched every movie I owned. I listened to every record. I read every book I owned. I did it all again. And then I watched them and read them all again. And then I was like, I'm bored. So he went bag of groceries at Publix. So some 70-year-old man that, like, what are you going to do? Just sit around the rest of your life? So my immediate goal is, you know, it was August 2nd. So 2 weeks from yesterday is my 50th birthday party. That's like my main focus.
Yeah.
And so all this stuff you see back here is souped up for the party. I'm playing guitar and singing for the first time ever at a gig. I've never done that in my life. And I'm also controlling the lights, and I'll be playing piano and at one point harmonica. And yeah, so I've learned how to program DMX. So I have a whole light show programmed. Again, I'm enjoying this because it's giving me something to learn.
Yeah.
Something to learn about. It's always, so my trajectory now is to save up for retirement, and along the way, keep playing music, man. Today I have my first rehearsal with a Stone Tribute Pilots. So it's a STP tribute band.
Yeah.
I've known these guys forever. I've never played with them, but so like I'm hoping that hopefully I can spend the rest of my life with one of the things I love: my wife, my kids, and my music. You know, and yeah. Now I have a stage and a gigantic S.
Did you build this on your own?
No, I actually found a guy. He built it for his 50th birthday party, and he was selling it for like $25 a piece, and there's 6 pieces.
Okay.
And I just kind of bound them all together and put a little more support in there, and yeah. So I found the guy, and I bought them from him.
My favorite thing is the S.
The S, that's from 2016 Atlanta Quest.
Yeah.
That's from the Super Show. Super. Yep.
I remember me and Gabe when we were here. He housed us. So we all drove from our respective Alabama.
4 different states. Alabama, South Carolina, Florida.
North Carolina.
North Carolina. I keep saying South Carolina. Sorry.
Yeah, it was close.
It's one of those.
It's one of them.
North, South, whatever.
But yeah, we drove from all over and we stayed at your house. And the first time we went down here, I was like, there's a big S.
Big old S.
You were like, yeah, it's from the Super Show.
Yeah.
And then,
It's funny is I didn't get it at first. From once the show was over, they gave those letters to anybody, staff or members that wanted them, right?
Just anyone? They didn't sell props back then?
No. And we're like, and so they were going to try to sell them, but they either had to sell all 5 of them or none of them, you know? So they were giving them away to staff members, and I didn't have it at first. Kevin King had it.
You're not going to sell just the big P?
Yeah, somebody's
got the biggest P?
Yes, somebody has a big old P. And he was literally just gave it away like a month ago. I swear. He just gave it away like a month ago. He's like, guys, I got this big old P. And so anyway, but yeah, I got it a few years ago. Mm-hmm. And I've had to replace the DMX controller. And I really need to take it out. Some of the LEDs are not 100%. Like, it doesn't really turn red anymore. But it still works. And it's such a unique piece. So I've never seen anybody with a giant S on their stage.
For Summerlin?
S for Summerlin, man. S for Summerlin. Got the giant llama.
Yeah.
When I was in high school, this guy gave me the nickname Larry the Wonder Llama. Larry the Wonder Llama, and he got it from like the opening credits of Monty Python and the Holy Grail when they're talking about all the llamas.
Yeah.
And I think it's Gary the Wonder Llama or something. And so he gave me that nickname, and then my band in college that I played with for 10 years, our first album was called Wonder Llama Soup. And we had this hand-drawn llama that looked like that. Mm-hmm. And then I used AI to extract it and turn it into more of a cartoon. Yeah. Instead of like a hand-drawn thing. And yeah. And then I've got the giant McRib sign.
The McRib's back.
McRib, man, I have a special connection. After I had my mouth wired shut for 6 weeks, after one of my surgeries, the first thing I wanted to eat was a McRib. That was the first thing I ate after having my mouth wired shut for 6 weeks was a McRib.
That's hilarious.
I was like, Mom, I want a McRib. I could barely open my mouth. It's like barbecue sauce everywhere. And then
you could put it in a blender and drink a McRib.
I mean, I did that with pizza one time. And I will tell you this, after drinking soup and Carnation instant breakfast for 6 weeks or 5.5 weeks, we didn't take the dough, but they just took like the pizza sauce and some cheese and pepperoni.
Yeah.
And it was the best thing I had in like 6 weeks. It was because it's the only thing that had any flavor.
Yeah.
Soup and all that stuff, man, it just doesn't pack a punch.
After you eat so much broth for too long.
It was like, oh my gosh, man. And so, yeah, it was kind of gross, but it was also like, yay, something with flavor. So I drank a pizza one time. I drank a pizza.
Would you ever start another indoor group?
I would never start one, no. I don't have to. I think in at least some capacity, I'm always welcome back at Quest, at least as long as Alan's there.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I don't think he's going to have me run the group or anything, but I think that, you know, I always have a home at Atlanta Quest.
Yeah.
And
that was more of a joke, but yes.
No.
Do that again?
I mean, look, man, I went through, because I did the DCA thing too, and like when I joined Alliance, it was only their second year.
Yeah.
So I went through that build too, and that was, no, I'm done with that kind of stuff at this phase of my life. Building things from the ground up.
Well, yeah.
But then again, you know, I'm back here learning how to, I don't know. It's never a bad idea to learn something new.
Yeah. So
I think we could keep doing that, you know, for the rest of your life, and it stimulates your brain and kind of gives you a purpose to keep moving forward, you know?
Yeah.
So.
If you run out of goals, you run out of direction.
Yeah, man. Absolutely, man. And so this has been, like, fixing up this basement, everything has just been like, all right, I got to do this with my time. I got to do this with my money. You know, like, just, it helps, gives you purpose.
Yeah. I love it. Well, Larry Summerlin, thank you for being on.
Absolutely, man. Thanks for having me, James.
For sure.
Good talking with you, man.
Yeah. All right, that's about it. I hope y'all enjoyed. Remember to like, comment, subscribe, do all the things. Check out our next episodes. And don't forget to donate to St. Jude. Larry, play us out.